Hey everybody, good to see you. It's been a while. Things have been super bonkers crazy. It's been 3 to 4 weeks since I've done a video, and just craziness. We did some traveling. I got to go see my son who graduated Marine boot camp. So we were out in California for a week, and then get back and had some health things like a bladder infection, different things, and the store was crazy and busy craziness and daughter's graduation and basically just life flying along at 1,000 miles an hour of stuff. And I just hadn't had time to do a video. But I'm making time to do one today. So I just want to get up at least a replay here. We are doing Wacht, Rhein. And we're doing the December 16th AM Allied reaction to the Axis attack. And what we're doing is just a reminder for those watching is we were a fellow and I named Clay and I are playing this game via Vassal because Clay's from New York and I'm from Fargo, North Dakota. And basically we started out doing play by email, so we could just do it at our leisure. Now we play twice a month at least live. So eventually these will switch over to live files where we're both playing at the same time all the time. So what I did is I kind of pseudo did that. You can do that with Vassal. Like if somebody sends you an email file, you can start the log file and then start recording another log file and then interject your comments and stuff. And then when they go through and watch it, it's like you were both playing at the same time. So it's kind of cool. Vassal is really a neat deal. It's a little dark in here. I got all the shades closed because we've been hitting 100-degree temperatures for the last 3-4 days and mid to upper 90s all week. So I'm trying to keep the sun out so it stays cool. Because my little AC unit, this is a west wall over here. So later in the day, it's got a lot of trouble keeping up. And it won't keep up if I keep the windows open. So anyway, so I got a light on me over here. So I'm a little washed out, but it's better than just looking at, a silhouette. So let's go ahead and carry on. So basically, we're continuing from our last point, and I'll just read the text to you and stuff like that, so you know what's going on in case you can't read it or not. I try to zoom in enough, but we'll see. But let's just go ahead and get started. Remember to hit the like button if you like the video. There's links in there. You can support the channel by buying things on Amazon. It doesn't have to be what's in the link. If you use that link and buy anything, and then if you like the channel and want to see more content like this, just please hit the subscribe button so that you get notification, and then hit the notification button so you get notifications when there's new content. Usually I try to do 2 to 4 videos a month. Sometimes I have times where I can do almost double that. And then, like I said, life got a little bit crazy. So it's probably my first one in about a month. So here we go. All right. So here, I didn't change my name yet because I updated a new file. So I'm called Newbie here. But it said I thought I'd just do a log file live with you as you attack me. So this is basically the German attack with the Allied reaction. Clay said that was a good question regarding the last barrage and how to retreat. So if you watched the last video, we had some questions on retreat paths and what changes that with zone of control and stuff. So he said you must retreat out of a zone of control, so I'd say straight back. However, retreating into a hex with a movement covering terrain does not give a penalty to the retreating unit since it's movement covering terrain, so he wasn't 100% sure. If I had to say, it would have to be straight back since it says not to retreat adjacent to an enemy to avoid it. So, okay, so Clay's going to advance some units. So he advanced these guys here, where these guys had retreated. And he's doing some more advances over here. This has been from the previous video. If you watch the previous video, you'd see these were barrages and artillery barrages. So now I'll remove any attack markers that I feel I don't want to attack. So basically you have your guys set for prepared assault. They have to attack unless you remove that designation. And there's 2 ways to do that. If you're in movement covering terrain, I believe, you can automatically cancel the assault. If you're in Non-movement covering train, I know for sure open and stuff like that. You have to make a PR check to cancel the attack. Otherwise, it just goes forward. So, which is what Clay says here. If they're a movement covering train, I can freely remove the counter. If they're not, I must roll less than their PR rating to remove the counter. Because basically, if he eliminates this unit that he wanted, or in the instance of where my defensive fire just devastates him or something like that, and he doesn't want to continue the attack, or maybe one of his stacks had to retreat and the other one's still sitting there, he doesn't want to attack, so you can try to call him off. So he's a movement covering train, so he's just going to call that one off. Okay, time for ground assault attacks, and we like to go from the north to the south if you've been watching our videos. So we're going to do that. He's going to, okay, so this Vassal module is kind of an older one. It's missing some things. I know there's a new one being worked on. We're really excited for when that comes out. When that does come out, we will switch the module to that and set up all the pieces just because it'll look sweet. So what he's going to do is use these gray counters to show where the attacks are being. And this is early on. Later on, when we're playing live, we use the spades and we're talking and whatever. So he's putting a counter there because he's attacking that one. And the odds were... so he's basically attacking me at the 12th VG against the 99th Infantry Division, the 394th Regiment. It's 16-7 or 2.86 to 1. For those of you, maybe if you haven't watched the previous video, we have a house rule where we roll the percentage dice. So 2.86 is what his odds are. So if he rolls an 86 or less, we bump it to 3 to 1. If he rolls 87 or higher on 2d10, then we bump it down to 2 to 1. The rules would say that would be a 2 to 1 attack, but we like this house rule. So this is a house rule, just so you know. He rolls an 84, so he gets his 3 to 1. So 3 to 1 attacking into the forest. So the column shifts. Allies will get 2 column shifts to the left. Axis get 2 to the right. Just trying to make a shorter video, so I'm not going to go through every one of those column shifts, but I don't have my PDF document open, but I guess he's going to kind of explain them anyway. But there was 2 left because I'm in an entrenchment 2 here, so I get 2 shifts to the left. And then he gets, I think, 1 for surprise. He gets prepared assault and surprise, so that was his 2 to the right. It's going to be on the H column. Die roll modifiers, combat reserves. There are no allied ones. Axis have 3, so they get a total of plus 15. So he removes those combat reserves. They're all back in here, which I don't want to hover over those and look at them. Rib bonuses, that's a regimental integrity bonus. The allies get none. The Axis had 2, so they get total of 10, so it's a plus 25. And the PR bonus, if you look at my guys are 6s, his guys are going to be, my guy's a 7 on defense, he's a 6. Oh, and I get 1 for the entrenchment. You remembered that, so I would have actually forgot that if it wouldn't have been a recording. So I have 8 PR against his 6, so that's going to be a minus 10, so now we're at plus 15. There's no armor in the attack, so it's 3 to 1 with a plus 15 to the roll. I think I'm going to open this up just so we can look at it. So we can look at the charts a little bit here. Just so you can see the results. So here is the combat result table. So we're going to be in the H column right here. Oops, I don't have a way to highlight that. H column. I think you said H column earlier, and it's a plus 15 to the die roll. Germans will roll first, then the Allied. So he got a 21 or a 20, because a 10 is treated as a 0, which isn't great for him. And I got a 5, which is super good for me because you want to roll low as the defender. high as the attacker. So that's going to be awesome. So the Germans got a 35. So if we go look at the 3-to-1 column, and if you look on here, so forest is line 3, so you lose line 3. The 3-to-1 column is the H column. And he got a 35. So if you go down here to 35, he barely made it, which means I suffer a star result, which is, you could have asked for anything better than that. And then mine is a 5, and I still have to add the plus 15, right? So that's going to be a 20. Defenders are down here on the bottom. So H column, a 20 puts me right here. So he's going to suffer a discretionary and a mandatory hit. So, and he did that wrong. He said 2-to-1, but as a 20, as you can see, 17 to 30 is 1-to-1. So, not sure. He was up one more. He was between the 11 and 16. Which would have been great too, but I cannot complain on that. That was beautiful. So he's going to retreat for 2 and take a step loss. We'll correct that later. That's the beauty of playing live, is you can correct that stuff right away. It's correctable in the play-by-email stuff. It just kind of causes a little confusion sometimes, but it's not bad. Either way I retreat would be adjacent to an enemy, so either works. So basically, because of this guy right here, I think he took a step loss there, so it's moving covering train, so no step loss would need to be at. Yeah, if you're moving covering train and you have to move past an enemy, you don't take a step loss because I can't really see it here. Oh, I'm sorry, we're down here. So he's backing up. Oh, he did the wrong guys. Nope, he's fine. Oh yeah, he figured out later. I'm just jumping in here. Oh, I know I said that. It was a 20 on the H column, so it's only 1-to-1, so you wouldn't have to retreat 2. 11 to 16 was 2-to-1, so he took too much. Yeah, so he's retreating 1 hex for each discretionary. He would have only retreated 1, so he'll fix that later. And then he takes a step loss, lost some infantry. It's good for me. And then I have to roll for my PR. So I roll now. I get a 9. So what I say here is, do I retreat and lose the entrenchment 2, or try to hang on and stay in there? Now, normally you'd have to make a PR check to try to hold your ground, but with an entrenchment 2, which hopefully I figure out, it's automatic. And I said, I don't have to be rolling. I'm in entrenchment, so I'll take the hit and hold on. So I took a step loss there too, because I had a full strength battalion in there. All right, next attack. So we're going to move down here. He's got a tactical assault going on. He's attacking. I got this artillery. And he's got a bunch of Fallschirmjäger. So 8 to 5, so 1 to 6. He rolls a 67, which will fail by 7%. So it ends up being, it was 1.6 to 1. He needed a 60 or lower to make it go to 2-to-1. He failed that, so it goes to 1-to-1, or 1 to 5. I'm sorry, 1 to 5, because you don't go. Let's see, what are we in the rough? Forest rough, which is basically line 3. So if you go on here, it was 1-to-1, and then it would drop to 2 to 3. Really, is what it would drop to, and not. I'm sorry. So going to 2-to-1, it drops to 3 to 2. Right? We don't drop all the way to 1-to-1 because they have these little incremental ones, 1.25 to 1, 3, basically 1.5 to 1. All right, so allied shifts, there are none. Axis shifts, he gets 1 shift to the right for surprise. So that moves us over here to the, I don't think they're right. I think he should have been then at the 2-to-1 column. We'll see what happens here. Yeah, G column, he fixed it. So we're at the G column. Modifiers. Combat reserve, none for both. Rib, allies have none. Axis get a +10. PR difference, mine's a... I don't know how that works with artillery. Guess we're going to find out, but he's a 5. Oh, I'm a 6 because I have a defensive. You don't have an offensive. So that'll -5, so he's at a +5. There's no armor in the attack, which I think that is incorrect. No. It's 2-1 with a +5 to the die rolls. I put in a question there. Self-propelled artillery isn't armored. So he rolls a 5 for himself again. Which is horrible. It's just like, I'm like getting a super... So he rolled a 5 and it's a +5, so he's not even going to make it on the chart. Poor Clay. I got a 51, so it's a 56. Which is going to put me on the chart with a 1 discretionary hit. So no effect for the Germans, and I don't know what he's looking at there. There he did a *1. He's looking, for some reason he's looking one off, so hopefully he'll correct that. So it should have just been, was it a 55? Did I look at it wrong? Oh no, 55. Did he have that up wrong? What did he do? I'm sorry. I see the 1 and it throws me off. So he is correct. So he suffers a discretionary and a mandatory hit. This is not going well. I mean, this little artillery guy, armored artillery guy, is holding up the Fallschirmjäger. Not very good luck on his rolls there. So he's going to retreat and take the loss. So he's got to retreat a hex and take a step loss. So there he's retreating. And he has to retreat at least 1 hex. And then he said doing so he has to take an additional step loss. I had a question there saying, wouldn't you have been able to retreat from 54.27 to 55.26 right there and not take the step loss? So we'll see what he says on the next file. Again, when we start playing live, these will all be clarified better. Next attack. Let's pick this one here. Yeah, 8-1. So pretty good odds. Into a village in the rough. Shifts. 2 left for the ally, 2 right for the Axis. So we end up on the N column. So we're going to be way over here, which is not good for me. No reserves. Rib bonus, none for allies. Axis get a +10. PR is allied 6 versus Axis 6, so it's a no wash. And armored, the ally get 2, Axis none. Says allies can choose the better terrain for armor, which will be the rough. 2 goes down to a 1. He doesn't get to use the stream. He only gets to choose one of the terrain benefits. So it ends up being a -10 for the allies. 8-1 with no die roll modifier. So now he gets a 31. Not 31. I don't know why I see that 10 and I think it's a 1. 30 with no modifiers is going to put him right here. I mean, he's just not getting very good die rolls. Should just annihilated me on that one. I get a 47, which I'm guessing is off. Yep, because I needed a 20 or less to even register at that odds. So 1-1 to me. He forgot to name the hex, but we know it was that hex, so. Okay, so 5730 would be the next one down here. And up here, So I jumped in and I said, okay, so up here I'm going to take my step loss because I'm dead. I have a step loss that I have to take, so that guy's just gone. And then he can continue his. So, and I said I marked. So normally you can right click and like put like a label on stuff. You can't on most of the pieces in this game, but in the prepared assault ones you can. So I put on there can advance so he remembers. So let's get back down to this battle right here. Oops. And I clicked off somehow. We can find my spot. Even though it'll jump right over to there. It's right here. Alright, so he's attacking my 106th Division here in an entrenchment. And he's attacking. Got these guys in prepared assault with an artillery shift, so let's see how this one goes. All right, so this is 14-6, so 2.33 to 1. He makes his roll. He gets a 3, so he makes it to 3 to 1. Attacking into a forest, and I'm in an advantage point. So we start at H column. Column shifts, 2 left for the Allied, 1 right for the Axis, so we end up basically a net of 1 down, so we end up in the G column. And we should be on line 3. So, die roll modifiers. Combat reserve none. Rib, Allies get a -10. Why did I get it? Oh, negative, yeah. So I get the benefit. Axis get a +10, so it's a wash. PRs are 6 + 1 for the entrenchment for me. 6 for him, so it's a net -5. Armor, we have none. Axis have 3. Becomes 1 due to the forest, and then 0 because of the entrenchment. So he has armor, but he doesn't get the benefit of it. So it's on the G column with a -5 die roll. There you got a pretty good one. So that's going to be a 73. And that's not good for me at a 66. So 73, if we go over here, well, that's not that good, though, because it's the G column. I thought it'd be better. So that's only a 1. 1 for the Allies. And what's my 71 - 5 is 60. Should be 66, I think. Let's see if it matters. No, because they're both going to be in here, so we're each going to suffer a 1. So if he retreats, then my discretionary 1 goes away. So he's going to take a step loss. Okay, then he's going to move on to the next attack, but I'm going to resolve mine. These guys, we turn them because in the beginning, all these guys are kind of sleeping. Not sleeping, but they're not active. As he attacks them, they become active. So I made them active. I said I took a step loss. I didn't have to roll in the entrenchment, but I wanted to hold the spot. All right, so now we're doing 54-33, which it'll automatically go there, but I like to scroll down so it doesn't move and we miss anything. Got lots of combats going on in this one, but now we're down here. So another guy in an entrenchment. He's trying to bust these up with these infantry with armor support. Let's see. So 12-6, so 2 to 1, so no roll to be made. Forest rough. We go. So that's basically line 3. There's different lines depending on the terrain you attack in. Remember, and obviously, the higher the line, the better for the defender. So that's where we start. So we're in the G column. Column shifts. The Allies get 4 to the left. Here's why. 2 for the entrenchment. 1 for an adjacent defender. And 1 for defending on a vantage point. Axis get 2 to the right. So we end up on the E column because we have a net gain of 2 to the left for me. So that's good for me. So E column. Die roll modifiers. No combat reserves. Rib bonus. Allies get 2 for -10. Axis get 2 for +10, so it's a wash. PR is my 7 against his 6 for a -5. And the armor, it gets muted just like the last one because the entrenchment will remove 1 and you have a maximum in the forest of 1, which the entrenchment removes, so ends up being nothing. So we'll have a -5 net modifier. So E column with a -5 DR. Okay, well, that's pretty good at a 79. We'll see where that register is. That's not. So we always roll it ourselves first and then the defender. So he got an 84 minus 5 is a 79. Let's go look and see what that is. A 79 is just going to be 1 discretionary again, right? It's right here, 1 discretionary. So again, that low odds thing is not helping him. That's a pretty good roll. I mean, you look at a 79, if he's up over here, you start just pounding me to death. So that's a 1. And then mine was a 72 minus 5, which would be 67. And if we go down to the defender column, oh, I get a star 1. So he's got to make a PR check, and he has to take a mandatory hit. All right, so he rolls his PR. He gets a 2, so he's golden. He takes a step loss. And then I'm going to have to take a step loss because I do not want to give up that entrenchment. And he's saying, okay, I'm going to stop here, and you can resolve from up to here. Okay, so I said on that last one, I'll hold and take a step loss as well. I got to hold those entrenchments. If I start just running away to save steps, then I'm out in the open, and that's not going to help, right? At least that's my thinking. And then these guys get to activate, and these guys should too, because when an enemy next to a unit attacks, I should be able to flip him. Yep, so I just stated because of this guy, he gets to activate. Which every activation I can get early on is helpful. Okay, I said, well, I'm having some really good fortune. And then I reminded him on his first attack that he had to retreat 2. And just some notes on the cleanup. So not doing a super long one today. It was only 26 minutes. But we'll continue on the next file I do. We got more prepared assaults going on, tactical assaults. More down here. He's trying to push me around here, trying to make little holes. It's really interesting because this is only the December 16th AM turn. I think we're right around the 21st. I can't remember for the 21st AM or PM right now. I'm currently playing. We're going to be starting a night turn, so I think we just finished the 21st PM. And it's super interesting to see, like, if I go look at this now and then go look at the other file, which I'm not going to show you because that'll ruin the surprise, but it's just crazy. Like the difference in the map already, like the places he's pushing out and causing a threat to punch through the bulge, and it's really cool. So we're having a great time playing it. Feel free to comment, and like I said, I just wanted to get up a short video today. Appreciate you logging in, and hopefully we'll get back on track here now as life starts to slow down and become a little bit normal. Be able to start putting up, make at least a video a week would be my goal. So thanks for joining me. Remember to support the channel by clicking on the link below, and if you like the content, hit subscribe to the channel and for notifications. Thanks for joining me.